Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at Ubongo Extreme from KOSMOS. This is the fun-sized edition, very small box. And basically this is an abstract strategy game. Well, not really strategy, it's just a puzzle game, really, where you have anywhere from 2 to 4 players trying to solve puzzles more quickly than their counterparts so that they can score that puzzle at the end of the game as a point. So let's get down to the table. I'll show you how it works, and then we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. So here I have set up for you a 2-player version of Ubongo Extreme. Now the reason it's 2 players is because I've only used 16 cards out of the 32 that are available. So there's more here, and in a 3-player game you're going to use 24 puzzle cards. In a 4-player game you're going to use all 32, but for a 2-player game you only use 16 because you're going to play 8 rounds of the game, and on each round 2 cards are used. So 1 for each player. All right, so what will happen here is that this person will take their card, I will take my card, and then we'll both flip them over at the same time. Now what this is going to do is it's going to tell you, first of all, the pattern that you have to fill in, and it's also going to tell you in the first round what pieces that you have to use in order to fill that pattern in. So in the first round, we're going to use these pieces up here in the upper left-hand corner, and then in the next round, we'll use these pieces. In the third round, this piece, and in the fourth round, this one. But of course, we're going to be using different cards for all of that. So once we have both of these flipped over and we're ready to go, we would basically ready, set, go, and we start taking the pieces that are used. So I need a 3, a 5, and a 6 over here, and then this person needs a 3, 5, and a 9 over here. So needs this one right here. All right, so at this point we would both start trying to put our pieces together. Then at the point where one person has completed their pattern using the pieces that were specified for the round, they'll yell Ubongo, and that will end the round, but then they'll start counting down loudly from either 20 or 30, depending on how much time you want to give the other people. Once somebody gets down to 30, if anybody else finishes their card within that 20 to 30 second window, then they'll also be able to keep their card for a point at the end of the game. But what will happen here is that if the person who won that round will be able to take their card and count it for points at the end of the game. You play through 8 rounds. Whoever has the most finished puzzles is the winner. The cards that are used in the game do have an easy side, and then the B side is a much harder side. So, for example, most of the A sides are using just 3 pieces for each of the levels, whereas on the B side you're using 4 different pieces on all of these things here as well. So the B sides are a little bit more difficult as you go through the game, but as you can see, not a whole lot of difference other than you simply have that extra piece. And I'll be honest with you, the A side is just difficult enough. Some of them, it clicks, and the other ones don't click so fast. So both sides are challenging, but if you need a little bit more oomph to the game, then you might want to try with the B side. So that's about that for Ubongo Extreme. Now, the fun size edition, sorry. This is something that I thought I was good at. And then I played the game, that is spatial organization, seeing how, pieces will be able to fit into holes and that type of thing. I thought I was good at it. Now I know that I'm not. Well, at least my daughter is better at it than me. So we played a whole bunch of this over the course of one evening, and she's definitely much better at it than I am. But I did enjoy it. It was slightly frustrating because I would feel like I was just on the cusp of finding it, but I just couldn't manipulate the tiles fast enough, and my brain wasn't really grokking how everything would fit together. But I did enjoy myself. It was fun. So there's that. So let's get to my pros and cons. First pro of the game is that it is a fun size edition. You can pretty much fit this box just about wherever you'd like it to go, in a backpack or something to that effect, and it has a very small footprint, which of course is what they were going for with that fun size edition. So they definitely achieved that purpose, and I think it's a good thing because, a lot of board games you just can't take with you. They have to be played on a certain size table, and some of them are just huge footprints. This one, not very large footprint at all. However, I will say it's not as mobile as it might seem because there are a lot of little pieces that are in the game, so you might have to be a little bit more judicious on whether this one travels with you or not. But at the same time, it does work. You'll just need a little bit more table space than some other of those really mobile games will be able to be used with. My second pro of the game is the component quality. Now, it's just cardboard pieces, so it's not, out of this world, but at the same time, they're all durable as well. And I also like how the cards have a multiple use. They have not only the puzzle, but also the pieces that are used in whatever specific round that you are currently in. As far as the gameplay is concerned, that'll be my third pro. I liked the gameplay. It's really cranial, though, I guess you could say, or cerebral, whatever the word might be there, because the game is really just a puzzle that you are trying to complete before your opponents do. So it's not really a whole lot of gameplay as far as interaction is concerned, but it is a good exercise for your brain, and it does have that going for it. It does have also a solo variant that goes in there as well. So I usually don't care for games that only have just some type of level puzzle that's there. But this one made a game out of the puzzle, and that makes it a pro for me. Now, with all that being said, I do have a couple of cons, and that is sometimes that you just, it's not really a con of the game per se, but it's a con of this style of game where your brain will just lock up and it won't see the solution no matter what you do. And then the other people around the table, or if it's just another person, if you're playing two-player, they just seem to be seeing everything. It's like their mind's eye is just just galloping along while yours is crawling along, and that's a con, like I said, not for this particular game, but for this style of game. So I do want to mention that it can be frustrating, and I definitely felt that while I was playing it. But at the same time, you also have to remember the lighthearted nature that this game has with it. It's not meant to be really hugely competitive. Yeah, of course you're trying to finish first, but if you don't, who cares? That's the main thing about it. So I do think that I just need to mention that this game can be very frustrating, but you might be taking it too seriously if it gets really, really frustrating. Second con of the game is that while I did say that the components were nice, I will say that they were a bit too small as far as the little pieces the puzzle pieces that you have to configure in your pattern. Those were a bit too small for me. Not very small, but I had a little bit of trouble manipulating them, and you know, when they fit together, I had to make sure are they all in the same place, and it was just a little bit uncomfortable, I guess would be the best way to put it. But I just would have liked maybe, you know, slightly larger cards, slightly larger components. I think you probably could have still fit it in this box because there is a lot of air in this box, even though it doesn't seem like there is. I mean, if you look at that, there's a lot of extra room in here that could have been used with slightly bigger pieces, slightly bigger cards. So I'm just saying that's probably more of a nitpick because of my big meat hook fingers that I have, but there you have it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I think it's a better than average game. I did enjoy myself playing it, but I don't think this is going to be one of those ones that I rush to in that kind of situation where I just want a light puzzly kind of game to play with people, maybe in between two other larger games. And this one goes a little bit long because of the 8 rounds, and I know you can just home rule it and shorten it if you wish to, but according to the rules, you play it for 8 rounds, and that's a little bit long for me, with all the frustration that came along with the game as well. So I did enjoy it, but I think it's just slightly above average for me. Other people will disagree and say that it's a great game, and that's fine as well. But for me, it's a 6 out of 10 for Ubongo Extreme, the Fun Size Edition. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.